They told me not to look back if I heard my name. But when I did, the voice sounded like my mother's. And when I turned, it wasn't her. My name is Depo. I'm 27, and I live in Nigeria. I'm not a superstitious guy. I've lived in Lagos all my life, studied engineering, and work in tech. I don't believe in ghosts or spirits. At least I didn't. This happened in February, during a short trip to Ogun State. My two friends, Toby and Connor, invited me for a weekend hike. Connor's uncle had a small lodge near Abeokuta, not far from a place called Ororok. I'd never heard of Ororok before, but Connor said it was a hidden gem. Not many people knew about it, which made it feel special. The name Oro didn't bother me at first. In Yoruba culture, Oro can mean many things, but I knew the Oro cult was a real thing in some villages. Still, I thought those were just stories for scaring children. We arrived Friday night. The village near the lodge was small, maybe 40 houses. It was quiet. Too quiet. The air felt heavy, even though it wasn't hot. The lodge was fine. Rustic but had power, and the uncle left us enough food. He wasn't around. He traveled to Lagos that week. We planned to hike the trail on Saturday morning. The villagers were friendly, but distant. One old woman came by and gave us palm wine. She looked at me and said, "Don't go past the stone with the red cloth." I asked what she meant, but she didn't answer. She just kept walking. We laughed it off. The trail started behind the lodge. We began early, packed water and snacks. The first hour was peaceful. Trees all around. Birds. The air was cool. No signal on our phones, though. We reached a large stone halfway up. There was a red cloth tied around a stick in front of it. Just like the woman said. "Maybe this is the spot," Connor joked. "Let's go back now before the spirits catch us." We laughed again. Toby took a selfie next to it. I should have turned back then. We kept walking. The trail narrowed. The trees got taller and darker. It felt like they were closing in on us. That's when we saw it. A man. Or something like a man. Sitting on a low rock. Wearing white cloth. Face covered in white chalk. He wasn't moving. Just sitting. We froze. "Is that someone from the village?" Toby asked. Connor called out. "Hello, sir." The man didn't move. I wanted to go back, but Toby said, "He's just doing some ritual thing. Let's not disturb him. Just pass quietly." We walked slowly around him, not saying anything. As we moved past, I felt something strange. Like cold wind, but it wasn't windy. My skin crawled. A few minutes later, we heard footsteps behind us. We turned. No one was there. We picked up pace. The trail curved again. Then we heard it. My name. Depo. Soft. Like someone whispering it right in my ear. I stopped. "Did you hear that?" "No," Connor said. "What?" "My name. Someone just said my name." Toby looked nervous. "Don't answer. Don't turn back. That's what they say." "Who says?" "The old people. My grandma used to say if you hear your name in the bush, and you turn, it's not good." That's when it happened again. Depo. This time, louder. It sounded like my mother. I swear it was her voice. I turned. There was someone behind us. A woman. Her back was to us. She was wearing the same wrapper my mom wore every Sunday. She had the same hairstyle too. "Mom," I said. She turned her head just a little. But not enough for me to see her face. Then she stepped into the bush and disappeared. I ran after her. I didn't even think. I just ran. Connor and Toby shouted behind me, "Depo. Stop. Come back." But I couldn't stop. I had to see if it was her. I ran until I reached a small clearing. Then I stopped. There was no one there. Just silence. No birds. No wind. Nothing. That's when I realized something. The trees around me were different. Taller. Thicker. And everything felt wrong. I turned to go back. But the path was gone. There was no trail. Just bush. Thick, dark, and endless. And that's when I heard it again. Not my name this time. But laughter. Dry. Us. Close. Too close. The laughter came from behind a tree. It wasn't loud, but it made my chest tighten. It sounded like someone who had been laughing for too long, like their throat was tired, but they couldn't stop. I took a step back. "Hello," I said. My voice was shaking. No answer. I turned to run, but I didn't know which way to go. The bush looked the same in every direction. I pulled out my phone, but the screen was black. It had died. That's when I realized something else. There was no sound. Not just quiet, nothing. No insects. No wind. Just silence. Even my breathing sounded strange, like the air was thicker here. I tried to retrace my steps. I picked a direction and walked fast. Branches scratched my arms. My shirt tore. But I kept moving. I had to get out. Then I saw something on the ground. A wrapper. The same kind the woman had been wearing. The same kind my mom wears. It was clean. Too clean. No dust, no leaves. Just lying there, like someone had placed it for me to find. I didn't touch it. I moved around it and kept going. After maybe 20 minutes of walking, though it felt like hours, I heard another voice. "Toby. Depo. Where are you?" It sounded far, but real. "Here." I shouted. "Toby, I'm here." I pushed through the trees, toward the sound. "Keep talking," I yelled. "So I can follow." No answer. Just more silence. Then I heard it again. But this time, it was behind me. "Depo. Where are you?" The same words. Same tone. Exactly the same. It was repeating. Like a recording. I stopped walking. I realized it wasn't Toby. I turned slowly. There was a man standing between the trees. He was naked, except for a string of cowries around his neck. His eyes were open too wide. No blinking. He just stared at me. Then he smiled. His teeth were black. I ran. I didn't look back again. Branches hit my face. I fell once. Got up. Kept running. My legs were shaking, but I didn't stop. Then, out of nowhere, I heard Toby's real voice. This time it was different. Panicked. Close. Depo. This way. I turned and saw him. He was standing by a tree, waving. Connor was behind him. I ran to them. When I reached them, I grabbed Toby's shirt. "You saw her too? You heard her?" "What are you talking about?" he asked. "The woman, the voice." They looked at me like I was mad. Connor said, "We lost you for over an hour. We've been searching and shouting." I looked behind me. The bush was still dark. Still silent. I didn't want to explain. I just said, "Let's go. Please." We found the trail again and walked back fast. None of us spoke. Even Toby stopped joking. By the time we reached the lodge, it was almost sunset. The old woman who gave us palm wine was sitting outside, waiting. When she saw me, she stood. "You turned, didn't you?" I didn't answer. She nodded slowly. "That's how they know you now." "Who?" I asked. She didn't speak. Just walked away. That night, I didn't sleep. I kept thinking about the woman in the bush. The way she didn't show her face. The man with the cowries. The fake voice that mimicked Toby. I knew something had followed me out. I could feel it. The next morning, we left early. Back to Lagos. Back to noise, traffic, and people. But even with all the noise, I felt like something was still with me. It started small. I'd hear my name at night. Soft. From outside the window. Sometimes I'd smell the forest. That thick, leafy scent. In my room. One time I saw the wrapper again, folded neatly on my bed. I asked my mom if she put it there. She said, "I haven't worn that in weeks. It's in the wardrobe." She opened it to show me. It was there. Still hanging. That's when I knew. Whatever I saw in that forest, it didn't stay behind. It came back with me. I started sleeping with the lights on. I never used to do that. But every time I turned them off, I would hear that laugh again. Soft, dry, and close. Like someone was sitting in the room with me. At first, I thought maybe I was just scared. Maybe it was my mind playing tricks on me after that hike. Maybe I was traumatized. But then I started seeing things. One night, around 2 a.m., I woke up to use the bathroom. I didn't switch on the light. I knew my way around. As I walked back to my room, I saw someone standing at the end of the hallway. I froze. It looked like a woman. Same wrapper. Same hairstyle. She didn't move. Just stood there. Watching. I whispered, "Mommy." She didn't answer. I slowly reached for the light switch on the wall. When I turned it on, she was gone. I checked the whole house. My mom was sleeping. My dad was snoring like always. I didn't sleep that night. After that, it got worse. One morning, I found muddy footprints in my room. Small, bare footprints. They led from the window to the foot of my bed. The window was locked from the inside. I didn't tell anyone. I couldn't. What would I even say? So I kept quiet. Until the dream started. I'd wake up sweating, heart pounding. In the dream, I was always back in that forest. Always standing in front of the woman. But in the dream, she had no face. Just skin. Like her face had been wiped off. She would stretch her hand toward me. And right before I touched it, I'd wake up. The worst part. I started looking forward to the dreams. It was like something inside me was pulling me back to that forest. Like I wanted to return. One day, Connor called me. He sounded scared. "Bro. I've been seeing things." "What kind of things?" I asked. "I don't know." "Shadows. Whispers. I saw someone standing outside my window at 3 a.m. I felt cold." "Toby?" I asked. "Has he said anything?" Connor paused. "Toby hasn't been picking calls. His cousin said he's been sick. Not talking much." That same day, I went to Toby's house. His mom let me in. He was in his room, lying on the bed. His eyes were open, staring at the ceiling. "Toby," I said. He didn't answer. I moved closer. His lips were dry. His skin looked pale, like he hadn't been in the sun for weeks. Then he said something. Soft. Almost a whisper. "She's waiting for us." I stepped back. "Who?" "She said we shouldn't have walked past the cloth." I left his house shaking. That night, I did something stupid. I went back to the wrapper. The one I'd seen before. The one folded neatly on my bed. I touched it. I don't know why. It was cold. Too cold. Colder than it should have been. And the moment I touched it, I heard something behind me. My name. Depo. I didn't turn this time. But I saw the shadow move across the wall. Long thin. Not human. I stayed frozen until morning. After that, I went to a babalawo. I didn't believe in those things, but I was desperate. The man didn't even let me finish talking. He looked at my face and said, "You went where you weren't supposed to go." I nodded. He told me to bring the wrapper. I said I would. But when I got home, it was gone. Nowhere in the room. Not in the wardrobe. Not under the bed. I asked my mom if she moved it. She said, "What wrapper?" I stopped sleeping in my room. I moved to the living room. I kept the TV on all night. But I still heard her. Closer every time. Sometimes I'd see the shadow standing at the edge of the couch. Watching. Never moving. I started feeling tired all the time. Not just sleepy, drained. Like something was feeding off me. I didn't know what to do anymore. Until one night, the door opened on its own. Slow. Quiet. I saw her standing there. The faceless woman. She didn't move. She just raised one hand and pointed. Not at me. At the front door. Like she wanted me to follow her. I didn't move. I sat there, staring at her. Her arm was still up, pointing at the door like she was waiting. My heart was beating so hard I thought it would stop. The light from the TV flickered across her. Her face was smooth, like skin stretched over a ball. No eyes. No nose. No mouth. Still, I could feel her looking at me. I wanted to scream, but no sound came out. After maybe a minute, though it felt much longer, she lowered her hand. Then she turned and walked out through the door. I didn't hear it open. I didn't hear it close. She was just gone. I didn't sleep that night. In the morning, I packed a bag and left the house. I went to stay with my cousin in Ibadan. I didn't tell him why. I just said I needed a break from Lagos. I thought maybe putting distance between me and that place would help. It didn't. The second night in Ibadan, I woke up with mud on my feet. I had locked the door. I had locked the windows. There was no way I left the house. But the soles of my feet were wet and brown. Like I had walked through wet soil. That same night, my cousin woke up screaming. Said he saw someone standing over him in the dark. I left the next morning. I called Connor. He said he couldn't sleep either. Said he saw the man with curry standing in his kitchen. Connor sounded weak. He said, "She's not just watching anymore. She's waiting." I asked, "For what?" He didn't answer. Just hung up. I went back to the babalawo. This time, he was angry. "You touched it," he said. I nodded. "She knows you now. Not just your face. She knows your name. Your spirit. You invited her." I asked what I could do. He told me something I'll never forget. "You have to go back. You have to return what she gave you." "But it's gone," I said. "The wrapper is gone." He looked at me for a long time. Then he said, "Not the cloth. Your attention. You gave her your attention. Your trust. You followed her voice. That's the gift." I didn't understand. He handed me a small gourd and told me not to open it. He said to go back to Oro Rock, alone, and find the red cloth. "Leave this there," he said. "And don't say a word the whole time. Not one word. Not even in your mind." I didn't want to go. But I was tired. I hadn't slept in days. So I went. I didn't tell anyone. I took a bus to Abeokuta, then walked to the village. I walked straight to the trail. The trees looked the same. The path was the same. But everything felt worse. Heavier. Like the air was thicker now. After maybe 45 minutes, I saw it. The red cloth, tied around the stick in front of the stone. It was faded now. Older. But it was still there. I stepped close and placed the gourd on the stone. Then I stood still. The wind started to blow. Only it wasn't wind. It was breath. Hot. Heavy. Behind my neck. I didn't move. I didn't turn. I didn't think. I just stood. Then I heard it. Footsteps. All around me. Not walking, dancing. I kept my mouth shut. I wanted to scream. Then I heard her voice. Soft. Calm. You came back. Still, I didn't speak. She laughed. Then whispered, "Look at me." I closed my eyes. I stood like that until everything stopped. No wind. No breath. No footsteps. No voice. Just silence. When I opened my eyes, the gourd was gone. The cloth was still there. But the air felt lighter. That was 3 months ago. Since that day, I haven't seen her again. No more shadows. No more whispers. No more footprints or dreams. It's like she let go of me. But something's still not right. Toby never got better. He stopped talking completely. Last I heard, his parents took him to a church in Benin for deliverance. I don't know if it helped. Connor started going to vigils every Friday. He told me he doesn't trust mirrors anymore. Said sometimes he sees someone else's face in his reflection. As for me, I try to live normally now. But some nights, when the power goes out and everything is quiet, I sit up in my bed and just listen. I tell myself she's gone. I remind myself I followed the rules. I returned what I took. But there's still a small part of me that feels watched.